Welcome to Exact Training. Today we're talking about the cost roll-up found in the costing module. During this lesson, you will learn what a cost roll-up does, what the prerequisites to running it are, and how to set the options to run the cost roll-up. So what is a cost roll-up? This batch process calculates costs for each part in the system. It calculates the costs by beginning at the bottom of the product tree and accumulating costs at each level of the product tree by rolling up the bill of materials. You can also use this option to develop costs for just one assembly, exploded, imploded, or neither. The neither option allows you to include part cost for a new part in a cost roll-up without changing existing cost standards for existing parts. Let's find out what we need to do before running a cost roll-up. For the cost roll-up to make changes to a part, the cost type on the Part Master accounting screen must be A for automatic. Any part set to M will not have its cost updated. Process all inventory transactions that you would like to reflect the old cost. Post the From To Charge report for the transactions to ensure the old costs are used. We recommend that you run both an inventory and a WIP valuation report prior to the cost roll-up. This gives you the current value of the inventory and the WIP accounts. And run the Recalculate Low-Level Codes utility in the Bill of Materials module batch menu to make sure that the low-level codes are correctly set. This is an important step. Remember, the utility will roll parts from the bottom up of the product structures. Skipping it may result in very large incorrect costs for the parts if the level codes are not correct. And finally, have all users exit max. If users are adding parts or changing costs, it could have a negative impact on the cost roll-up results. We are now ready to learn how to run the cost roll-up. These are the steps we'll follow. From the Finance tab, we will go to the Costing module, the Batch menu, and choose the Recalculate Cost Roll-Up. Then we'll select the roll-up options and click Process to run it. From the System Manager, select the Finance tab and choose the Costing module. And the Costing window will open. Now select the Batch menu and choose Recalculate Cost Roll-Ups. You can run the cost roll-up for a specific part. When you select this option, the roll-up type options are available. The Explosion option updates costs of all component parts from the lowest level of the part structure to the selected part for a selected part ID. The Recalculate Cost Roll-Ups report displays all the component parts from the lowest level of the part structure to the selected part. For the Implosion option, this updates the cost for a selected part ID only. The Recalculate Cost Roll-Ups report displays the selected part, parts which are one level below it, and parts from levels above the selected part through the highest level of its product structure. For the option of neither, this updates costs for a selected part ID only. The Recalculate Cost Roll-Ups report displays the selected part and parts which are one level below it in the product structure. You can also run the cost roll-up for all parts that were added after the date selected. To capture all parts from your database, we recommend setting the date to January 1st, 1980. That would be the earliest date a part could ever have been entered into MAX. Now let's talk about the source data. The source data is the set of data that you want to get the costs from. Max can store data in several different cost sets. To see a list of options, click the Open button for Cost Set. We now see the options available. For 00 Part Master Current Alternate, this pulls the BOM and routing costs from the Part Master and uses the current alternate BOM and routing if one is entered on the Part Master's Planning tab for this part. Otherwise, it defaults to the original BOM and routing. If you see 00 Part Master Specific Alternate, then this option would allow you to select an existing alternate BOM and/or routing to use during the cost recalculation. The option is only available when running the cost rollup for a specific part. If you select that option, the alternate code fields will be displayed and you can enter the specific alternate code that you would like to use for this cost rollup. You then have the option to use any one of the 8 available multiple cost sets to use as your source as well. These costs are entered or stored in the Costing module Activity menu, Cost Set Screens. For this example, I would like to use the cost data that was stored in the cost set 01 This Year's Standards. In addition to selecting the source cost set, you can also select specific labor rates. These rates are entered in the Costing module Activity menu Labor Rate screen. Now we have to tell Max to recalculate the costs by checking the Recalculate Costs box. Unchecking this box allows you to just print a part. We will save the costs. Now let's tell Max where to save the costs. We can save the cost to the Part Master, a cost set, or both. If you save the cost to the Part Master, the cost date in the Part Master Accounting tab will be updated with the current date. When you click the radio button for To Cost Set, you will then also be able to select the cost set you want to save the costs to. The last option is the report. Do we want to see the cost roll-up report or not? If so, click the Create Report checkbox. Then select Sort by Low-Level Code Sequence or by Part ID Sequence. Now we're ready to run the cost roll-up. You will be given a warning that saving the cost to the Part Master will affect your inventory valuations. Remember, we recommend you run your inventory and WIP value reports prior to a cost roll-up so that you have a starting value. Click the Yes button to continue. You will now see a status window open, showing you what parts are being processed. Depending on the size of your database and the options selected, it can take some time to run. If you have elected to print the report, it will open when the roll-up is complete. You can print it out if you like by clicking the Print button. And then just close the report when you are ready. You should now run another inventory and WIP valuation report to capture the new values. The difference between the report ran before the cost rollup and the ones run after should be booked as a journal entry to your accounting package. Max does not automatically post this cost change unless you have the revaluation option in the System Configuration Max switches turned on. This option will capture the cost for the inventory change, but not for the WIP. Today we have learned what the cost rollup does, the prerequisites to running it, and how to run the cost roll-up. Thank you from Exact Training.